The question of the day, people. Can there be good news to bad weather? In a real twisted sense, the answer is yes, most definitely. Well, kinda sort of that is. So it was not only brutally cold yesterday, did I mention the goddamn wind? But it also was snowing. Now how could there possibly be any good news, no matter how twisted the mind of your flexible, most fluid, extremely humble messenger with an action-packed expense account? Simple. I'm running out of wood to haul in daily, which means yesterday, as shitty as it was, I only had to haul in 4 5-gallon buckets of coal. And that is much quicker than digging out snow-buried wood, which means, pay attention sports fans, less time in shitty weather. Get it? Good news, kinda, sorta, maybe. No one needs to remind me that in every solution there is a problem struggling to get out. The solution to running out of wood will be dealt with today. It's in the top 3 stuff I have to do list. The problem struggling to get out? The deeper the snow, the more difficult it is to gain access to the trees, to cut the wood, comrades. I love it. Oh, what a fluffy intro, Dave. All fluff, no stuff. You're batting 1,000. Now see how negative and hard-hearted some of you people are. Even though I got a lot of stuff done yesterday, the lack of the most time-consuming task of hauling in wood gave me the opportunity to watch 2 movies yesterday on YouTube free with ads. And I'm going to say this again. Have you guys noticed anything unusual about commercials lately? Like 13% of the population is doing 95% of the commercials? I mean, what you know what? Now, you don't have to celebrate Christmas to enjoy A Christmas Carol. You know the Ebenezer Scrooge story by Charles Dickens. There are many versions of this movie, but I insist the one featuring George C. Scott as Scrooge is probably the best. And then, after getting a bunch of more stuff done, I took a break from getting stuff done and watched the movie Drone. D-R-O-N-E, Delta Romeo Oscar November Echo. Not a great movie by any standard, but an interesting plot. What happens when the chickens come home to roost? What happens when what goes around comes around? And what happens when the father of a daughter-mother team are blown up by a Hellfire missile? Not the target, mind you, but simply a mother-daughter team in the wrong place, wrong time. You know, collateral damage. What happens when a grieving father from Pakistan comes to America searching for the disgusting and dirty fucker who killed his family? From not the battlefield, mind you, but his high-tech keyboard somewhere in America. You can't help thinking, no mystery to me why America's hated in so many countries. Well, I'm not here to talk about firewood, or here to talk about movies. We have a warming trend coming. I just want to talk about the weather. And I'm just getting started on Monday, the 26th of December, 2022. So if you want to talk about the weather, we haven't been here for a long time. Pay attention to the intro, people. 75 years ago.
World's cloud layer. And ultimately, to control the weather, and he who controls the weather will control the world.
U.S. Northeast faces, quote, dramatic flash freeze in wake of soaking winter storm. Much of that moisture straight out of the Gulf of Mexico, by the way. With that in mind, does that AccuWeather.com headline make any sense? It does if you consider climate engineering and patented processes of chemical ice nucleation cloud seeding operations. The highly sensationalized, quote, flash freeze event in the U.S. is scheduled to be followed by a profound warm-up across the whole of the U.S., especially in the exact regions that are slated to be flash frozen for Christmas. Last week, Denver airport temperatures collapsed by 75 degrees in 18 hours, from 51 degrees above zero to 24 below zero. Temperatures in Wyoming free fell by 51 degrees in 2 hours. Yes, 2 hours, from 42 above to 9 degrees below zero. On Friday, it was raining in parts of Canada, while there was a hard flash freeze warning on the Texas-Mexico Gulf Coast. Does any of this sound in any way natural to anyone? No, it's not natural. It's not nature. Engineered from beginning to end, serving many agendas of the global controllers and the climate engineers. And for those that immediately say it's all happened before, Perhaps you should consider that global climate engineering operations, including chemical ice nucleation, cloud seeding operations, patented processes, have been deployed for at least 75 years and have been steadily ramped up all along the way. The expected mass sensationalization of the engineered winter weather mayhem was constantly dished up by the matrix-controlled mainstream media. The current scheduled temperatures put out by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration for the U.S. from coast to coast, moving into the first of the year, is for a profound warm-up to occur, especially in the eastern half of the U.S. Will this extreme weather whiplash warm-up actually be allowed by the power structure? We'll soon enough find out. Check the post of this broadcast on the homepage of geoengineeringwatch.org to see the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration scheduled temperature maps for yourself. Maps, by the way, that are ultimately produced from private defense contractors, Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, contractors that are neck deep in the climate engineering operations that have to pass down the scheduled weather maps so that the narrative matches. These maps...
Yeah, I'm out there struggling like a goddamn dog in the brutal weather, as we all are, and it turns out it's all geoengineered. We have the weather that somebody somewhere wants us to have, and it really pisses me off. I don't understand why more people aren't pissed off about it. So there's got to be a reason for this, right? Why are they doing this? Why the geoengineering of the weather? That was Dane Wigington of geoengineeringwatch.org. We haven't heard from him for quite a while, or I haven't featured him anyway. I listened to his weekly show. Why aren't more people pissed off about this? I don't get it. You can't convince them it's happening. Oh, I remember this as a kid. Hey, I remember launching a boat on the Mississippi River in Murderopolis, actually St. Paul, Pig's Eye Island, March 15th. Yeah, we knew January and February sucked. That is when you got to 20 below, and it stayed there. It didn't go from 20 below up to 36, back down to 40 below. No. Anyway, beating this dead dog. So, I'll tell you why, I think. I think because they want us dead. And those that aren't going to die, you got to have a few slaves working the plantation. You don't think these lazy masters are going to do anything. Why would they when they get you to do it? There's a theory out here, people, and it's coming from Woodward TV. This guy knows how to add music to his videos, something I could learn from. The Terraform theory.
So here is a theory that I would often entertain or consider, as I know that evil people are truly crazy. You see, even if we think that something like a Marvel comic book character like Thanos coming through a portal to snap half the universe out of existence is nothing more than a fairy tale, that doesn't mean that the world powers are not crazy enough to prepare for it. If a spaceship flew by Earth, if NASA is watching the sky and if they spotted a ship flying by out at the distance of these asteroids that they spot, then I would imagine that from that point on, someone would make efforts to prepare for some type of contact or even an invasion in a worst case scenario. At the very least, an outline for one. With that said, what if they knew that very soon we would be faced with an invasion of demonic spirits? How would they prepare us for that? I want to talk about this because I believe they are crazy enough to terraform the planet and genetically alter humans in order to prepare the environment and prepare our bodies for demonic invasion and possession. Just look around you. The devil is in the details.
Oh, that is a catchy tune. So, are they preparing our bodies? Are they terraforming Mama Earth? What's the mother to do? I don't know, but they're preparing our minds. Next two articles I'm going to read to you briefly, people. Pay attention here. Are 10 and 8 years old, respectively. Vatican considers possibility of aliens. Hey, this is a cool lead-in. E.T. phone Rome. Oh, I thought Spielberg had his little thing go. E.T. phone home, E.T. phone home. No, it was Rome. Damn, you learn something new every day. 400 years after it locked up Galileo for challenging the view that Earth was the center of the universe, which it is, the Vatican has called in experts to study the possibility of extraterrestrial alien life and its implication for the Catholic Church. The question of life's origins, of whether life exists elsewhere in the universe, are very suitable and deserve serious consideration, says the Reverend Jose Gabriel Funes, F-U-N-E-S, an astronomer and director of the Vatican Observatory. They've got a lot of shit on Graham Mountain down in Arizona, people. The Vatican's into a lot of stuff. Vatican, you know, like Cain and Abel. Funes, a Jesuit priest. Okay, let's stop right there. We don't need to read any more of this article. What did I used to see 3 of behind every tree? Well, let's see. A Jesuit, a Murray, and a Mason. Yep. Ran into Dan the Mason man at the bar the other day. The bottom Peter Pit. Now, let's shift over here. Last article. Oh, shit, I'm running long. Sorry, people. Pope Francis says, quote unquote, for example, tomorrow an expedition of Martians came, and some of them came to us here. Martians, right? Yeah, green with that long nose and big ears, just like children paint them. And one says, but I want to be baptized. What would happen? What would happen? They'd get baptized. That's what would happen. He goes on. Nothing more to say it here. He didn't say it in English, probably said it in Latin in his Monday, whatever he says, a little speech. So there you go, people. Run a little bit long, but is there a method to the madness? And can you see the madness? The strong delusion. It's unfolding, people. It really is. You need to wake up and die right. I had a science teacher in 8th grade, Lee Olson. He used to say, come on, you zeros, add up. Guess what? I'm adding up. I'm adding up the stuff I got to do today, because I got stuff to do today.